You are listening to an MLGA Network podcast.
Hey, Maddie, are you excited about interviewing Kim for tonight's episode?
Totally, super excited.
I'm really excited too. I heard that she is a real diehard Republican, though. So I don't know how it's going to go.
Really? Because I heard through the grapevine on the internet that she was a liberal, and, you know, we're going to have obvious disagreements there.
That's weird. You know, another thing I also heard?
What?
I heard she's into dudes, really. Like, a lot.
That the whole Lesbertarian thing is a false flag?
I'm just thinking.
All right, I'm going to have to stop you there because that's just a little too far. You can call me a Republican, you can call me a liberal, but as soon as you call me heterosexual, we might have some issues.
Welcome to Voluntary Vixens, where Jesse and Maddie give a female voice to news and pop culture with a libertarian twist. Join us to stay informed and challenged while keeping it sane, peaceful, and most importantly, voluntary.
Hello, Vixen listeners. If you haven't already figured it out, we've got one more cat in the group tonight, and we've got our good friend Kimberly Schjang.
Greetings there, everybody.
And she is the host of the MLGA Podcast Network's latest release, Lesbertarian.
Yes.
You know, it kind of sounds pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But here's Kim to actually tell us, you know, what she aims to do, what she's doing here.
Well, my podcast is just, there are no libertarian podcasts that are LGBT specific that I can really find, or at least that didn't last. So I decided that is a void we need to fill, and who better to fill it than an obnoxious lesbian? So there you go. I don't know why
she's here to fill that hole.
Yeah.
Everyone, ladies.
We're just going to just be full of dirty puns all night, apparently.
Well,
our usually pretty clean podcast might get a little bit inappropriate, but hey, we're all adults, we're all consenting, and we're all keeping it peaceful, having a good time here. Yeah, so Kim, you're not new to both the public eye and not new to podcasting generally. You're kind of a podcasting maniac, so I'm glad to see you're back and channeling all of your knowledge and your energy towards this new project. Do you want to talk about anything like what you were doing beforehand or how you got here, or, you know, what's kind of more interesting maybe is how you did actually put your foot into local politics? Ugh.
Yeah, that'll, if anything will scare you into being a voluntarist, to be running for politics. I guess I'll just try to compress that all down. I started out my career as, this is going to be a surprise to no one, about a black lesbian. Started out as a liberal podcaster.
Whoa!
And I used to have a podcast called
Left field.
Called, I think it was Ethnic, Lesbian, and Random was the podcast.
Oh man, I didn't even know about that one.
It's really old, and I think all the podcast episodes are gone, which is good because you would hear all of the statist liberal stuff I used to say. It's just embarrassing.
I feel like we should dig that up sometime.
No, I'm good. Can we just... we can't stop recording here and cut that out? No?
No.
But after about October 2015, when I decided all the candidates that we had running were terrible, I started looking into libertarianism, and luckily ran into some people that were willing to teach me. That's when I started the podcast most people know me for, Newborn Libertarian, was just having people on who understood libertarianism, and we would just debate things and all that good stuff. And then the original incarnation of Make Liberty Great Again podcast had me and Cam and another friend Sarah on it. So that is where I came from podcast wise. And as I mentioned politics before, in 2016 I ran for state senate in Nevada, and that was quite a process. It definitely made me fly towards voluntarism because it's just a bunch of nonsense, and it costs too much money for that nonsense, and, of course, the loss. That was fun.
Yeah, but you didn't lose that bad.
But,
yeah, I was one of the few libertarians that got over 9%. I had about
I think
almost 31% of the
I thought
vote.
that was a pretty good number, actually.
Yeah, you did kick ass, all things considered. You did what you could. Very stunning and brave, and I could not have done what you did.
Never again.
I couldn't do it. I know that.
I remember, like, just kind of like, because when we first, quote unquote, met, because we have actually listeners already know that I haven't met Jesse in person. I've never met Kim in person either, but we'll all get around to it eventually, right? But so I remember, in the early days of our, what was I thinking of? It's almost like a digital nation by consent, if we want to get a little bit Rothbardian. But so our online oasis where we all found each other. I remember first meeting Kim. Like, I feel like when I say back in the day, it was probably honestly like a good 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And it's weird to think about that, and how far we've all come, and how far to where the world has gone since. But I remember, like, when you first announced that you were actually going to run. It was, like, pretty amazing. And it's even, like, been a long time since then. What is happening to the world?
And if I had an answer for that, I have no idea. But it feels like we've been through a few presidential cycles and we're just being all beaten and thrown around and everything's just changing. But it's fun to watch the left eat itself. That's why I ran away from them. They are a little insane right now. But... Mm-hmm.
Like, unfortunately, nothing but a sinking ship. And even the parts of their party and maybe once existing platform, like, the part that would be more anti-war or really pro-civil liberties, it really doesn't seem like any of those facets are still alive and strong. It seems like everybody's taking crazy pills, and I'm sorry, lefties, like, do something redeemable, and I'll maybe still sympathize with certain parts of...
I don't know, but I think that when I look at some of my friends that are on the left, they look at the Republican side and they think the exact same thing about us. Like, well, they consider us Republicans, by the way.
Hey, don't watch that us.
I was like, whoa, when did we become a Republican podcast?
Well, I say that because I always get lumped into being a Republican because I don't support Trump, so that's all it takes to be a Republican these days. Or because I don't hate Trump.
That you don't not support him. Yeah, that you don't hate him and, like, want his impeachment over this ridiculous, like, non-issue.
Right.
Can we talk about...
And obviously...
Can we talk about how they decided to impeach him at... What is it? It's all like, when do we vote again for a new president? Oh, let's go ahead and try this impeachment inquiry. It'll make us look good. What?
Or desperate.
Why so late?
Yeah, it looks like a desperate attempt, really, at this point. I can't look at the left anymore and even see a coherent plan. I just don't... Where's the plan? Is anybody seeing a plan? Like, at all?
I think what it's going to be is that they're going to elect Bernie and he's going to drop dead of a heart attack. Whereas his backup, Joe Biden, once again becomes vice president, and he's got dementia. So that's just how this country's going to be run.
I think what's going to happen is it's like all of them are going to fall, and then all of a sudden Hillary is going to be like, hey, guys, I'm back again.
It's either going to be crazy Hillary from the dead, like Night of the Living Dead Hillary, and I would really prefer the end of the world, like Meteor 2020. But, or, I know on Monica Perez from the Propaganda Report, she keeps planting this seed that maybe Stacey Abrams is going to pop out and be the candidate that saves everybody.
Is that... I don't she lost so bad in Georgia.
Yeah, but, like, they still see her as some kind of figure, some idol, some person to rally behind. I don't know, Kim, what do you think?
No. I don't see a plan.
I mean, okay. Well, definitely no plan. But
or do you or could this just be like this is my conspiracy theory, is that really they want Trump to win again and they're all super buddies with each other in secret. Like it's a long game.
Like the longest game. I don't know. I went through that period where I was like, I barely talked. And I thought, oh my God, maybe they did elect him on purpose. And when I say they, I mean, like, I don't know. I really feel like it got away from them, and he is an abomination, kind of, in that it wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know. Maybe they're using it to the best of their advantage. I feel like they are, considering some of the people that are still around him and considering the leaks that are still coming from within his own government. Like, you know, they're all trying to tackle him from within. I don't know. But what I think to your 10 minute, 12 minutes into the podcast, and we're already hitting conspiracies, but to your point though, what might be, and, you know, something that Dave Smith's always said that, you know, would be really annoying to see is that, like, if and when, because, you know, it's probably going to happen, like, the economy crashes, the recession hits, and it's a huge one, right? The next one's going to be big. And that one hits, and it's under Donald Trump, who's the businessman, the free market guy, quote unquote. You know, if it happens under him, it's going to more obviously be taken over afterwards by the left and their totalitarian socialist nonsense. And, like, it's going to be a lot more, I guess, easy to convince people that obviously, like, we tried it this way, so here's this other way that we have to try, and because finally we'll get communism right.
I mean, yeah, that's probably what they're thinking.
Well, fair enough.
Did you follow that?
I did. And I mean, like, we all know economics, so, you know, that doesn't sound like a plausible thing. But for people who don't know economics, that might make a lot of sense, you know? So, I don't know. But yeah, I have heard that theory before. I have, like, they're just kind of setting him up for failure, basically. But it just seems like right now, everything they're trying to do, it just keeps backfiring on them. Like, they tried to make this whole impeachment thing backfired on Biden pretty hard, and his son. So I don't know. You know, how that's.
I think they were better. I think they were better at this game when the internet wasn't as populated with people that were willing to actually question things and question their authority and just authority generally. And so now that we can all talk to each other without using them, and we can get our information without going to the gatekeepers, you know, I feel like it's crashing and burning rapidly. And, you know, Trump seems to be a master Twitterer, like a master tweeter, like super extraordinary troll. And I feel like they can't keep up with him, and because their game is archaic and no longer works.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
If anything, we can be thankful for his Twitter ability. He says some really stupid stuff, but it says some really entertaining stuff. And I like to see everybody who hates him go flying all across. They're just thinking, oh my gosh, why did he say that? I'm just thinking, keep going, please. This is entertaining.
Yeah.
It got my popcorn out.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly. Like, I'm not anti-Trump. I'm not pro-Trump. I'm, like, this whole thing, I'm anti the whole office, basically, and what it is and what it is able to do right now.
Yeah.
But so I love the tweets.
Yeah.
Like, that's my favorite part. Like, if we're gonna be stuck with this, at least I want to see that man's tweets.
And it's not what he's saying. It's like how people are reacting to what he says.
It really is.
Yes.
That's the thing that is so
exposing
powerful.
the snakes in the grass.
He knows, and I think the big thing is too is that, like, maybe a lot of us don't realize he knows all these people. He's gone to their weddings, there's children's baptisms,
he's gone to weddings, he's gone to their
mitzvah
parties, he's had them at his.
He's hobnobbed these people for, you know, decades. So
such a good word, hobnob.
He knows what he's how to get under these people's skin.
I don't like knobs.
No knobs for Kim. We're just gonna no knobs.
Go on with your point before I so rudely and grossly interrupted.
He does know these people. Like, he's part of the elite group, and you know, they rejected him only semi-recently.
Yeah. You know, like, one of my favorite celebrities that hate him is Snoop Dogg, because I used to be a huge Snoop Dogg fan back in high school. And now to just see him just, like, completely become a belligerent child over Trump just makes me laugh. I don't know why, but, you know, I remember when he used to talk about Trump as, like, somebody that he was aspiring to be, and now he absolutely can't stand him. It's hilarious.
Yeah. No, that's funny and ironic. I'm thinking here is like, you know, what kind of symbolizes Snoop Dogg, other
pot?
than he's like this huge pot. Yeah, right. Okay. Bingo. Pot. And so like hates Trump viciously and ferociously, but somebody who is like this publicly pro pot, you know, I didn't hear him or see any tweets from him or, you know, Instagram posts protesting anything about Obama's DEA, like going in and raiding people in California.
Yeah. Because, you know, black. That's how he was black. I'm not gonna lie. He got away with a lot of things just because he was a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Or had black enough skin. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here. You could say these things because somebody would eat us up.
That's true.
Kim.
Well, people are just going to have to get
pointing
used
out
to
the
that.
Yeah, we have
obvious.
white privilege.
My podcast is going to be a ton of that. Oh, man. Oh, those words.
And thank you for your service now and in advance.
Cannot deal with the white privilege. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a podcast episode on white privilege and how stupid I think that is, because nobody acknowledges now that we've slammed white people. Now there's black privilege, because I can say all the obnoxious stuff that I said, like Obama's black, which anybody with eyeballs can see the man's black. But if a white person says it, all of a sudden everybody's freaking out, and somehow that's not black privilege. I don't understand.
It is a really interesting thing that people like. What I like to watch is which groups do the masses put kid gloves on? You know, who gets the free pass? Who gets to say whatever they want? Who gets to have all the double standards? And I think it's really like illuminating when you kind of sit back and watch.
Yep.
And then also just like demeaning. How dare they?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you're not any closer to the truth or to solving a problem, which.
Oh no, but those aren't
and that's
aims
what
of theirs.
I can't stand that kind of stuff because I'm a problem solver. So that automatically means I can't even hang with anybody on the left for too long, you know, especially if we're going to be talking politics.
Well, you got to have that culture of victimhood. That's how the votes get in. I mean, when I was a Democrat and they were telling us how, oh, you poor black thing, you're never going to get anywhere. Oh, and you came out of the closet, now you're really marginalized.
You can't even get a voter ID, Kim.
Yeah, it's just all the sad.
Actually, Kim, will you
show
prove that you have a voter
card.
ID, or like you have show us your ID?
It's probably in the bottom of a drawer somewhere. Okay, a bunch of receipts and stuff. But I do have one.
But you do have one. Thank God. Does your mom?
Well, I think I tried to get her to, actually I did. Now that I remember, I got her to register as a libertarian because she's in my district.
Nice.
She was in my district when I ran for office.
Got it, yeah. Yay!
At least my mom voted for me. Just
you know you're special when your mom votes for you.
Even though I'm just not going to vote again. That's just a bad idea.
So you're not going to vote again?
I can't even see how I would at this point. I mean, it's basically Trump against this flock of weirdos. I can't even see.
Yeah, we don't even know.
And the Libertarian Party is not an option.
Oh, no. Just no. I can't. The LP, I mean, they've tried so hard, and I always get slammed for saying, hey, you know, at least he tried to, like, well, I got more votes than Gary Johnson, technically, and that's just a sad story because he had more money.
Yeah.
That dude was, I don't know, he was special.
Yeah, girl.
I don't...
Yeah, no, he blew it. I guess, like, so I'm not affiliated with any party. I'm registered as an independent, so I can't vote in any primaries here, so I'm kind of, like, you know, not able to have as much fun as maybe I could, and if Maryland was different, but so I haven't done it yet because there's, you know, more important things in my life, like I need to find a primary care physician or like a dermatologist, but I have considered maybe, and maybe you'll talk me out of it, but I have maybe considered joining the LP just so I can participate with the Mises Caucus. The Mecox? Just because, so, I don't know, I wasn't convinced beforehand, but then after Dave Smith kind of annihilated Nick Sarwark and made it a point to say that, we've got to get this guy and people like him out of, if this party has our name or is any kind of affiliation on us, how do we get those people out? I kind of see that. I guess we can't. But I don't know.
About doing that too, just to vote out people like him, and then maybe we might have enough power to be able to get people to represent us that actually represent us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was part of the reason I went to the LP convention last time was to vote him straight out in 2018, and we didn't succeed, which really
I just don't get that.
Disappointing.
Yeah, and I guess I don't understand that. I guess I don't understand other libertarians.
Yeah,
welcome to libertarianism, I guess.
We don't understand each other.
A bunch of weird introverts that don't understand each other, or at best and at worst hate each other secretly.
Well,
purity tests and whatnot.
If people want to ask me if I liked anybody in the political field, I'd say libertarians, and they'd ask me who do I hate in the political field, and I would say libertarians.
Yeah,
because I don't know what it is about libertarians. We're always at each other's throats. It's probably the opinionated individual sort of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
right?
I don't get it.
It's the autism that just... we
maybe
all
a little bit of that.
Have a little bit of it, I think, but it makes it hard for us to admit when we're wrong or to listen to each other sometimes. So, but of course, I'm the right one, so...
Yeah, of course.
That makes things simple.
No,
if you know that.
I thought, can we go back to how the liberals think, and just because I'm black, my opinion is just elevated above everybody else's? I kind of like that when it benefits me.
Yeah, let's definitely go back there. Yeah. I mean, that really works sometimes, right?
It's sometimes the black privilege is good, depending.
I mean, take it when you can.
If I were black, I'd do it.
They spoon feed it. They spoon feed it to you, so I'm take advantage of that sometimes.
Yeah, though at some points, I kind of get upset about it because then it brings up maybe I shouldn't talk about the topic of people thinking that I got my job because of affirmative action and that kind of thing. And I was like, I'm pretty sure if that was the case, then I'd probably be fired by now because the dean of the school probably would have lost his internet, because it's hard to be an engineer and not get caught for screwing up your job. So maybe I don't exactly like all of the privileges that come with being black, because apparently people just think you're an idiot.
Well, gotta love some unintended consequences, right? So people might look at you and think about that, but I think where you're safe, besides being an awesome badass, is that the sciences, at least in my experience, are a lot less affected. Mm-hmm. I mean, 100% everybody has to agree in climate change, but the sciences aren't as affected as the humanities by some of that.
That's true.
Where it's still more merit based, and it's still more you've got to work your ass off, and you've got to be able to prove that you can do these skills, and you can meet these deadlines, and you are able to do what your degree says you're able to do. Yeah. Whereas, I don't want to throw a entire humanities department under the bus, but
yeah, go ahead.
Go with English.
I was gonna say history.
Philosophy.
This time,
I mean, you could just all of them. Just put them all in the trash. They're dumb.
Or the new psychology wings that are coming out that are for intersectionality or black colored psychology.
Okay,
what is that?
I mean, because I used to be a therapist and I was in the psychology world for a while. I will say that since I've left that field and went into nursing, I've watched that whole science I don't even know what it is anymore. It doesn't seem like it's even really based on science. Yeah, it was already considered a soft science because you're looking at behaviors, and you can't really get inside people's mind and know everything 100% how people think. But so you're just looking at trends. But I'm starting to look at just some of the things that have happened recently. Like I have a really close friend who's a therapist, and we were talking about the recent shooting that happened in El Paso and Dayton, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about how, she's a lefty, obviously, and she thinks that, gun control, we just haven't found the magic law that will fix everything. But
not yet.
So
We're
I'm
getting
thinking,
there.
you're a therapist, you know that these people are not mentally stable that want to do this kind of stuff, right? And she's just like, no, Jesse, the consensus from the psychoanalysts or whatever she said is that it's not school shootings or mass shootings are not from a mental illness. And I'm thinking to myself, like, are you kidding me? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Are you mentally ill?
So, I mean, she was dead serious on this. So I looked into it, and there's like articles that talk about, like, this isn't caused from a mental illness. This is a gun control issue. And I'm just thinking the psychology science itself has been just taken over so much by the left that, it's just taken over that now it's not even a science. And I'm thinking, like, this, how dangerous is that you're not even willing to address like a mass shooting type incident and look at all the trends to try and find, maybe some way we could prevent these kind of things from happening. Like, I can just think of a few things just off the top of my head. I mean, all of these people are on psychotropic medications, for example. And
that seems to be a dead giveaway.
And that was always one thing when I worked in the hospital, because we would do people that would come in for homicidal or suicidal ideation. That would be one thing that we as therapists, we'd have to talk to all our patients as they're discharging, because they'd only be there for like 3 to 5 days. We'd have to warn them about the psychotropic medications, because that is a huge warning, especially our teenagers. We'd have to give the parents a big pamphlet and warning about, your child may try to commit suicide even after they've been hospitalized, so you'll need to watch that. And I remember parents being like, well, then why are you putting this on why are you giving this to my kid? And I'd be like, I don't know. I don't want to do it. I'm not the doctor.
I quit. I quit, literally.
Yeah.
And now you don't do that anymore.
I actually, that's just, like, I think about it all the time about how if I were to go back into psych as a nurse and I'd have to give people those medications, I don't know if I could do it. Like, I don't know if I would feel good about myself. So I don't know if I ever go back in that.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of compromising of your principles would have to be done, and I think you're way too much of an ape to do that.
That's one that gets me in trouble in nursing all the time. Like, I've thought about vaccinations too. There's lots of jobs right now this time of year just for part-time giving flu shots. Don't really want to give people flu shots. Not a big fan of the flu shots, and that doesn't make me popular amongst my peers. So
I believe that.
Imagine.
So let's see, what else has activism ruined? Sciences, humanities.
Yeah,
healthcare.
It's pretty much ruined everything.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, it really has. It's not made anybody safer. And I was just thinking about this, like, in the car the other day, about how all these protests that we've had since Trump became president, even during the Obama administration with the what was it, the 99% or whatever, have any of these protests done anything for anyone? Did it actually accomplish anything? Like, is this activism even doing anything, or is it just keeping these people busy while the elites do whatever they want to?
Is that a rhetorical question?
Yeah, that sounds rhetorical to me, because it makes all the activists feel good about themselves. They're doing something. They're going, yeah, we're out here protesting and all that good stuff and holding stupid signs.
Or hashtag
while you're
blah,
sitting
blah,
there.
blah.
Yeah, and you're just sitting here behind your computer screen making fun of me, and it's like, well, it's either sit behind my computer screen or do something useful. I'd rather do something useful. What you're doing over here, just screaming and yelling and trying to be seen, not actually as useful as you think it is, because the elites, as you were saying, are doing whatever they would like.
Regardless.
And we're too busy fighting each other, and they're just like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, again, it is like all part of the division bread and circuses game. And, yeah, any chance that people are out there fighting and screaming in the streets, and it's just been heightened in the past few years, any more of that is just like divide us further. And it's such a distraction. But again, it's like, I think it's either, I don't know, the mask is sort of coming off. Like the sheet is falling because, like I said, people don't go to the gatekeepers anymore for their information. They're going to see it, the live footage on the internet. You know, they can see for themselves what is actually happening on the grounds.
I mean, I think that kind of leads us into what we were originally thinking about talking about, is about fake news. You know, this is what's presented to us on the news, and now we question everything. People are more and more questioning things, I guess I should say. There's still people that they just watch CNN or ABC and they just say, sure, that's what's going on. Okay. But then I think more and more people are realizing that all of this stuff is just lies.
I appreciate, one, I love Sam Tripoli and Tinfoil Hat, but I love his positivity too, that he does seem to think that more and more people are waking up, and he's like, you know, the whole world was awake for about 18 hours after Epstein was suicided.
Yes.
I mean, died.
Oh yeah, Epstein.
I say murder killed every time.
Oh yeah,
that whole
he
thing
was put to
about
sleep.
the guy who basically sex trafficked children, that guy that we all forgot about, right? And there's still
and he was caught before doing it.
And there's
caught before this doing it.
thousands of names that have been named that we still don't know, of people that procured his child sex slaves, that we seem to have forgotten about those people too, right? But
believe all women, except any of them that you know, might have
sex slaves
claimed
for
something against Jeffrey Epstein
and Ghislaine Maxwell.
For powerful rich people?
Not those women.
Oh.
Don't blame or don't believe those people.
Well, no, we need to impeach Trump first. And then we can...
Yeah.
You have to only care about our whistleblowers.
Yeah. That's...
Our handcrafted, specially picked whistleblowers that aren't even whistleblowing.
I mean, and if there's not... Okay, just like today, there was a whole big deal that kind of came out online about... Because ABC posted this footage of war, of the Turks attacking the Kurds, right? And then come to find out...
You all can't see it, but Kim's cracking up. Kim's
It was
laughing
actually
hysterically
the
right
story
It's
right here.
actually footage of people shooting with machine guns, gas tanks in Knobs Creek, Kentucky in 2017. But, you know, sure.
Cool.
Sure.
If
Those are those evil, freedom-hating people across the globe that we've got to extend ourselves, and the American empire has to be there, you know, defending our freedoms, and because of...
That's the internet at work.
What rednecks do in Kentucky.
And that's exactly what you were saying, Maddie, is the internet is exposing so much now. And it's hard for them to lie to us.
We're beating the system.
That's just... if you don't believe that they're not lying, they're lying to us at this point, just see that video. I don't know, it made my day, and I tried really hard not to laugh in my office that they were caught that quickly, and it was just that obvious. I was just thinking, if you still believe the government is telling you the truth, I don't know, I have to smack you with this laptop while the video is playing. I have no idea how I can help you.
Well, Freudian slip there, believe the government or believe the mainstream media. Like, is there a difference these days? It's such a weird, like, world we're living in. And, like Dave Smith's been saying recently, is like, if this was a state-run media, if this wasn't a state-run media, like, what would the state-run media look like? How would it be any different from what we have right now?
Well, and it makes me wonder, too, because, you know, like I was saying, it's like, is Trump kind of like a plan? Or is it more of like a deep state thing where, you know, it's the people that we didn't vote for that are pulling all the strings and doing all this stuff, you know? Like we already know CNN has, they have advisors that are CIA agents and FBI agents. Wouldn't surprise me if Fox does as well. I know that anything that they're going to tell us is going to be slanted in one way or another. And I think that's kind of the only way you can really not get taken in, is by just going in and saying, okay, this is going to be the spin from Fox. Is it's going to be pro-Trump, pro-right, pro-war. And when I go to MSNBC, it's going to be, I hate Trump, pro-war. You know?
Still pro-war, yeah.
And like Hitler is, still very pro-war.
Yeah.
Weirdly, like,
It's just
weird.
Did you guys see that?
When like I said, they're supposed to be the
Did you guys ever see
group.
that The View, where they Rand Paul came on The View, and he got
I
tag
just watched that
teamed.
today. I don't know how recent it was.
All the harpies came out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I thought he handled himself pretty well, though. You know, when he started asking them, like, would you? So you're gonna send your kids then to war? You're cool with that? You know, kind of turning it on them, saying like, well, you're okay with it's under your word. You want to send people to die, and I think that's how we need to look at it. But
Yeah, no, I did think that was excellent framing on his part.
Yeah, I'll give him props.
They didn't want to answer. They didn't want to let him get those points out. They didn't want to answer his questions. They had their question, which was, what about strategy? When has Whoopi Goldberg given a flying F about military strategy? And what does that woman know?
Yeah,
she can't even her hair. I wouldn't trust any of her opinions if that is her hairstyle.
I don't even think she's
honestly.
been in war
And, like,
movies
her
to even talk about
selections. Right? Like, you're irrelevant.
I don't
lady.
know. She was really good in The Ghost, but
yeah,
not really.
In Sister Act, man, come on.
That was
Not really. I think anybody could have been good in Ghost.
Yeah, good point on that one.
But yeah, I think that one thing that drives me crazy too. I have a friend that I got into a fight with recently on Facebook because we used to go to high school together, and he posted something, and I know I should have just ignored him, but he posted something like, how can anybody be a Republican these days with the president we have? And just kind of turning it into like this, like all Republicans are corrupt. And then like me and a couple other people were like, okay, sure, the Republicans are corrupt, we'll give you that, but what about the left? Like, do you think the left is corrupt too? No, the left is fine. I mean, he literally said that, and we were like, okay, wait, Clinton? I mean, even the Clintons. He was like, oh, that stuff is just overblown. So then at that point, it's like, I know he's so brainwashed at this point that I don't know how to get out of now I don't know how to get out. You know what I mean? Have you ever been in those types of debates where you're like, okay, I shouldn't have gotten into this because this person's crazy?
Well, I don't get into debates because that's when I really let my Type 9 wing shine through, and I'm a peacekeeper, and I try and like make myself invisible and slide out and act like I was never there because I'm like, wow, you have to help yourself and I can't help you.
No, I just turned into a black woman. I'm like, here, we're going to have this
too.
discussion. And
See, you guys are my heroes.
And I'm going to tell you how you're wrong.
I'm just like burning sage.
Like, I can't handle it.
I can just see.
I can't handle dumbness.
I'm just like, I'm going to go meditate.
I mean, and this is a person I know who's not stupid at all. He's a very intelligent person, very intelligent man. But it's clear to me that he's not thinking this through, and he's not seeing the whole picture. So it was definitely like, then at this point, it's like I'm trying to get out of the argument, but it's like I still am like just so annoyed at it,
Just say, hey, I gotta go pick up my kids. Good luck with your mental problems.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, the R word.
Oh, and his wife even got involved in it too, because, she's like, she's one of those like harpy social justice warriors too. So she had to get involved and defend her husband. Don't you love those?
Oh, and she definitely wears the pants.
Don't you love those? Like the Democrat or like the left guy is so weak that his wife has to come in and save him from the mean libertarian girl. No.
The mean libertarian nurse.
So, yeah, she was like giving me... So apparently
scary.
if you think that both sides are corrupt, it's whataboutism is what she was calling it, because, what about blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but I'm admitting that the right is wrong too. It's not like I'm saying you're completely wrong, but you're just completely missing the point.
No, Jesse, you can only pick one side. Only one side. So
There's
if
only
one
one
side
side.
is
There's
terrible,
only
you're
one
clearly
side.
on the other side, Jesse.
Pick one side. You can
You
only
guys are
have
missing-
one side.
You're missing
Beep,
the robot
beep.
dance that Maddie's doing right now. It's pretty awesome.
I'm not coordinated.
That's exactly what I was thinking, though.
Beep beep.
So I don't know. I hope that maybe we can wake some people up, because it's looking kind of scary out there.
Yeah, I always tell people, I mean, I guess it depends on where you came from in the past, unless you just came flying out of the womb a libertarian, lucky people. But I was on the side of people I didn't want to hear crap that, I didn't know a libertarian existed. I didn't want to hear crap the Republicans were saying. I might as well have been heading just in my lesbian U-Haul all the way to communism. I was gone. And I was ready to
Pick up AOC on the way.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and I turned it around when I started to realize, wait a minute, these people, these Democrats, all these candidates, they're leaving me behind. I'm starting to realize they really didn't care about, because I was all the anti-war, and I think that's what did it for me. And all of a sudden, the war kept on from when 9/11 happened, and then I was thinking, okay, we had all those years of war with Obama because he's black. That everything's just going to change, right? And that nothing changed. And I think it takes certain things like that for people who are just mired in the state to actually open their eyes. And some, it just takes a little bit longer.
I think if you have principles, that's what changes you. Because, like, if you really are a diehard, I hate war, I don't want to do this anymore, then you can't help but see how both parties are not, they're not for you, They're both pro-war, they both support war, they both have voted over and over again to go to war. So it's not for you. And if you're in economics, if you care about, free markets and all that stuff, you realize both parties are not for you. It's just,
Nope.
and you start to realize you don't fit into these things because the principles don't match up. But if you don't have principles, then you're easily just pulled in one direction to the next.
I think that's a fair point. And I think most people are probably issue voters. And so, they might look at one issue, whether they're in the Democratic Party or in the Republican Party, but they might look at like one issue and be like, okay, well, what's my prescribed answer for this question or, this topic? And, but so those are all the different whats. And then if you have a underlying principle, you have the why that kind of like determines, at least for me, that's why I've said before, when I kind of decided that if consistency was my thing and I wanted to be as logically consistent as possible, I needed to start kind of peeling back all the other layers and just stuck with the why. Forgot all the whats, forgot all my positions. And it was okay, well, so, this is the why. This is what I want to believe in. So, absolutely pro-free market. And then I realized that, non-aggression, that being the underlying principle, kind of solves all the whats. It answers all the questions for you. So I'm able to be as logically consistent as I want to be, as I wanted to be, and, something internally, drives me to be.
And for me, I will say that I like being a libertarian, little L, because I never really was I can't stand gay people. I can't stand black people or whatever,
How rude, I'm leaving. Just kidding.
Which I think that honestly, the parties were split for okay, I'm older than you guys, but our parties were split. It was I remember, gay marriage was the biggest issue when I was a kid that people would vote on, and that was why they voted Republican because they did not want gay marriage, and, God forbid. But now, I mean, like, I look backing on it, I was thinking, like, I never ever fit into either side because I never really cared about any of that stuff, and I just wanted everybody to get along with each other, And to me, being a libertarian is allowing everybody to be an individual, allowing everybody to do what they want, be what they want. That's the beauty of it. And then, you can coexist with all these different people, and you might disagree on little things, but you fundamentally believe that they have a right to be who they are and do what they want. So that's peaceful right there.
Yeah, that's the main reason I started my podcast, because in the first episode goes into, is libertarianism LGBT friendly? And my point got all the way around to, I feel if you are somebody who wants to be comfortable in their skin and have to deal with not being able to be who you are, especially decades ago where you definitely, as a gay person, couldn't come out, then libertarianism just makes the most sense, more than the left or right, because it's all about being an individual and other people having to respect you for you, as long as you don't harm them, and vice versa. So I don't see how you can get, no, I have to be a Republican or a Democrat. No, libertarianism seems to make the most logical sense.
And
Yep. Don't hurt people. Don't take their stuff. Doesn't matter if they like girls, boys. Doesn't matter what color they are. It's like, that's the simplest and most accessible, and to use their favorite word, inclusive sort of ideology or philosophy that's out there.
See, gay people, just come on over. Come on over. Let's hang.
Yeah, especially, yes, definitely come over, because, I need some dating prospects, so, just kidding. Just kidding.
Sort of. We're not fishing.
Yeah, sort of.
Taking
there are
applications. Get in line.
It's a very long application, so get ready. I have lots of requests. Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm very picky.
Hey, have standards. Nothing wrong with that.
I guess my standard just can't be girl.
Yeah.
Need something else than that, because girls are crazy.
I feel for you on that one, because girls can be crazy sometimes. I mean, men can too, but
I'm nuts, so, like,
when I was pregnant, my God, I felt so bad for my husband. Looking back on it, I was like, I was horrible to him, but oh well.
Husbands are heroes, so if they can deal with us.
It gets them ready for when they have kids, though, because the kids. God.
It's all part of it. All part of that training. Life or death. All right. Anyways, we should probably wrap it up here, but thanks for joining us, Kim. I'd like you to go ahead and plug all the holes, and let our listeners know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me now at Twitter at Lesbertarian, Instagram at Lesbertarian, and website lesbertarian.com. Just Lesbertarian, any social media you want to find me on, just type in Lesbertarian. That's going to be me. That's the only one. So there you go.
You're so lucky. Somebody stole our Twitter handle before we even got started, and so now, like, you get to hear us butcher our contacts at the end of each show, which is good fun. So while I say that, as always, Vixen fans, spread the love. Send us some love on Instagram, where we hang out the most, at Voluntary Vixens. On Twitter at Vixens Voluntary. I don't know, you'll find us. And we've got a Patreon, and so, you can find us there. Vixens _voluntary.
Yeah, I think it's capital V's.
Something like that. I'm basically dyslexic. I don't know.
You guys weren't kidding.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right? See, like, literally happens every time. But lucky for you, lucky for Lesbertarian Kim here, like, you can find her at the same place no matter what. So, welcome back to the MLGA podcasting platform, Kim.
Thank you.
And everybody, we'll see you next time. Keep it sane. Keep it peaceful. Keep it voluntary.
Peace out. All right, ready?
Bingo. Okay, 1,
2,
2,
3.
3. Jesse, we're gonna get this right eventually, right?
When we're actually in studio together, it'll probably be perfect.
Well, yeah, because you probably
we have
wouldn't
a
need to clap
studio.
them.
Yeah.
You'd be sitting next to each other.
Wait, whoa, who's that?
Sorry.
Who dare?
All right. Now we will start.
Yes.
Wait, no, that was part of our... I mean, it was a terrible cold open, but that was supposed to be part of it. That you and I were doing our thing, and then our new trio was joining. I give up. All right, new start. Cam, enjoy all of this. Soak it all in.